Hey everybody, today in this video, we're gonna cover 4 reasons why you probably shouldn't buy a Peloton. And the reason I'm making this video is because I actually really enjoy Peloton, and I've taken some time off in the past, but this year, due to some of the improvements they've made, I've been riding and running on Peloton more than ever, but there are also plenty of things that I don't like about Peloton. And for some people, I don't recommend Peloton. And when I don't recommend Peloton, it's usually because of these 4 reasons. Now, reason number 1 is if you're looking for a cardio device and you prefer to watch entertainment like watching movies or shows on streaming services over getting coaching. Now, Peloton recently did add the ability to watch Netflix and HBO and various other streaming services on its platform. And that's great, especially for members who typically take classes, but maybe on occasion want to catch up on a show. The reason, however, that I don't suggest Peloton if you prefer viewing entertainment while you get in your cardio is because in order to use the entertainment services that you already pay for, you still have to pay the additional $44 per month for Peloton's membership, which to me is a lot of money to spend if you're not taking the classes that Peloton provides and instead are just watching streaming services that you can see on any other tablet or screen without having to pay that membership fee. And there are a lot of other bikes that you could choose from that are a lot more affordable and are likely the better choice if you don't plan on taking Peloton's actual classes very frequently. The second reason that you may not want to get a Peloton is if you're somebody who really enjoys following a laid out training plan. Now again, Peloton has added a few training plans over time to its platform, but there really aren't that many and they don't really add new ones very frequently at all. And so Peloton is much more designed around just pick and choose what you're feeling up for the day, rather than having its members follow a coherent training plan, which for some people may be perfectly okay and maybe even preferred. But if you are somebody who is really focused on improving your fitness and you really do like having a laid out training plan, then Peloton may not be the best option. Where there are other bikes that can connect to other services that have a lot more in-depth training plans you can follow if that's something you're more into. Again, Peloton is better for somebody who doesn't really care to go that much in depth in that and just wants to pick classes based on how they feel, what's gonna keep them motivated to work out that day. That said, there are other groups who make programs that you can follow on Peloton. For example, there's the Power Zone Pack group, which makes plans that you can follow along to on Peloton, but those are at an additional cost to the $44 per month you're already paying. It is a good option and it will work well for some people, but it does come at a pretty big cost. The third reason why I sometimes don't suggest someone get a Peloton is if they're looking for a conditioning device to be mixed with other things like boot camps or CrossFit or something that you're gonna get on and off of. And in that case, Peloton really isn't the best option due to a couple of facts. One, indoor cycling bikes like this in general aren't the best for those cases just because you have to clip in and out with the pedals, but also because there's no real way to create your own intervals or structures on it. You have to follow classes. And because of that, if you're planning on going back and forth, you're not gonna really get any kind of good interval data that you may otherwise want. Now, Peloton does offer boot camp style classes, and I think those are really great if you want something to follow along to. But if you wanna do anything on and off the bike by yourself, I just don't think Peloton is necessarily the best option. And reason number 4, you may not wanna get a Peloton is if you're going to be the only person using it. Again, Peloton bikes and Peloton treads and Peloton rowers, they aren't cheap, and it's even more expensive when you consider the monthly membership that you're gonna be paying. And if you think about it this way, like the average Peloton user uses it around 2 or 3 times per week. That's a lot of money, especially monthly recurring fees that you'll be paying if you are the only person using it and you're not using it every day. So for me, for example, I'll use Peloton maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but so will my wife. And that'll help make that monthly fee much more reasonable and worth the cost. Whereas if it was just me using it, the 2 or maybe 3 times a week I do, I probably would end up freezing or canceling that membership just because it's a lot of money for how often I'm using it. Now, there is a 5th thing that I want to talk about in this video, and that is if you do plan on buying a Peloton, if those 4 reasons weren't something that you're concerned about, if Peloton's a good fit for you, the other big suggestion that I have is not to buy it new. Instead, look at Facebook Marketplace or other places that you can find used bikes because right now there are so many Peloton bikes on the market that if you're close to a relatively big city, you can find like a brand new Peloton bike, hardly used, for about $300 is what I'm typically seeing it sold at. So you can save like over $1,000 by getting a bike that's been ridden maybe like 4 or 5 times. And Peloton even has on their website a new option that you can look up a Peloton bike to see how much it actually has been used before you buy, if you want to double check that. But let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. As always, this is Colin Jenkins with Connect the Watts. Appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time.